So they'll be calling you a radical. So the greatest crime in human history that everybody has accepted. The frogs have been boiled nicely. So what are we? 4,580 what? 3 days? And think about your two choices for president of the United States. It's going to be two of the greatest criminals in the history of the United States. The Fukushima cover-up trilogy. Obama Dumber, Trump dumbest, and slide with old man senile Biden. We're going to get the two geezers who want to be Caesars. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, that's the two choices. 333 million people in this country. So the greatest crime in human history. The cover up of Fukushima. What's the solution? You can show me the solution. It's called accountability. It's called resolve. I mean, are you gonna let these guys slide? Just gonna let these fuckers slide? Really? Really? I'll tell you what. So you can just hand them more so it can happen again. It's like the old thesis. The most important thesis in logical. For every action, there's a reaction. So if you're in a relationship, business, anything, whatever, marriage, whatever, one is cheating on the other, stealing money, whatever the contract is, and the other one just allows it. Whose fucking fault is it? Anybody who didn't fight back. The greatest PhD opportunity in human fucking history. And you're telling me, well, it's a fact. One person took it. Well, Dunford's done his part up there. Two people? I mean, honestly. I mean, in heavy, first you hypothesize the knowledge. I've been on this from the fucking day it happened. Well, long before it happened. I was predicting it. I did lecture after lecture after lecture. We're going to get a fucking meltdown. And I used to quote Einstein's work. Einstein used to always say, well, hell of a way to boil water. Kevin Lynch, hell of a way to boil a planet. If this genie ever gets out of the bottle, we ever get a full fucking meltdown, and it gets released into the biosphere, it's going to change every piece of biology on the face of the earth. So Saturday at the football game, they give the Marine, and I know the guy, microbiologist, award. He's retired. Thank God the fucker's retiring. What a piece of fucking, worthless. Well, beyond worthless. It's like I'm right across the street. Okay, Rashid Shaheed played right there for 5 years. I'm right across the street. It's the Weber State Sports Restaurant Bar. I'm in there watching the game, and Rashid busts the 76-yard punt for a touchdown. Touchdown, Rashid. And I'm like, Rashid just scored to the owner, and he's owned it for years. By the way, Rashid used to go in there. And I'm like, who's that? I don't know who that is. I says, Rashid Shaheed, that played at Weber State. You used to sit right there. I don't know who that is. And this is a guy who's supposed to be an expert on sports. His partner does the PA for Weber State. I mean, he can't even announce a name, right? Can't get. I mean, I'm a butcher. What's a cow? I told him. I'm a baker. What's a cake? I'm a fisherman. What's a boat? I own a Weber State sports bar in South Ogden, Utah. Who's Rashid Shaheed? Oh my fucking God. I'm a biologist at Weber State that's getting an award. Yay, yay. So they've been passing out these awards here for the number one school business in the United States. I mean, this was such a feather in our... I taught there, student professor. Number one in the country. Beating the private institutions. Beating Wharton. Why? Elon Musk was that word. Beating Harvard. Beating Yale. Beating Princeton. We're annihilating Stanford. And we're public. We're a little boutique, and we're the #1 school business country in the every single year in here. So they give an award at halftime for the president of the university who destroyed it, ripped it to shreds, allowed it to become supply chain. Now they're under investigation by. They gave an honorary degree to the guy that sold his company to Warren Buffett, who destroyed the school of business. You take the #1 school of business in the country. That's via testing. It's not opinion. You know, and you rip its head off and destroy it. And it's just more proof that the United States is a degenerate country. The country's degenerate. While the Fukushima disaster is ongoing, take the shower, get on the boxcar. Not me. So, watching the game over there yesterday, I parked over here. And so I walk over here, and there's some guys, not young kids, I mean, BMX riders in here, having a heyday, man. And I'm like, that's what it looks like. They got nervous when they saw me, of course, because I didn't video it. I'm like, so what's the solution? It's called accountability. It's called resolve. It's called lock these fuckers up, the untouchables. And it's exposed the belly of the beast in this country and how it's evolved, how disturbing it has evolved into this country, that the nuclear energy crime syndicate has total control. And if you don't think about the money, not only did they cover up the graves, and by the way, this is where a lot of these vloggers, and well, they're not any vloggers and bloggers anymore out there, somehow think Japan is running this show. This is how dummied down the American populace is. It's like football. It's like sports. They love their team. The greatest branding in human history is the NFL. I mean, these guys will buy anything they put up. They're lock, stock, barrel. They're diehard. They're all, and they will fight you when they're 53 years old, 57 years old, and overweight and out of shape with a pacemaker. They will fight you and take a stroke and die. They might be able to tell you who the quarterback is, 1 or 2 players. That's it. I mean, the country is dummied down to the 15th power. So, what's the answer? It's called accountability. God, you ain't got a soup can, do you? After use baseball. My dog says, I got in your back, you left it in my house. What the fuck? I ain't got nothing. So you're like a little kid. I opened up your bag. You got baseballs in there. Yeah. They say when they open up and give you open heart surgery, you resort to when you first started having the problems. I started having the problems with my heart from birth. I mean, I remember really feeling it when I was 11. So the answer is called accountability. It's called put them in fucking jail. You know, so if you don't believe me that they're the untouchables, you're not paying attention. So they've been bailing out everybody. So in Ohio, the only FDA office that takes them off. They're going state to state, house to house. I'm traveling around the country fighting. It's this made in Vienna. By the way, the IEA General Conference starts today. I would be there in the Blanche box, but my doctor told me I couldn't go. You're not ready. Do you think you're ready? She says, you're not yourself. She seemed depressed. She seemed off. You're not close to her, what everything you've been through. I don't know. Massive heart surgery this year. Harvesting area, I had to reconstruct my room. You know, all because they wouldn't listen to me in third world America. So house to house, state to state, they started off in New York. 7.6 billion with a B. They hand the 3 reactors that Exelon rolled to the device. Fitzpatrick, Yanni, 9 Mile Point, 3 times worse than 3 Mile Line. They were done. When the point goes, Status King Cuomo just handed them. So, and the city that never sleeps, they'll protest the protest of a protest on anything on the social issues, but the really concrete issue, their health, their water, they drink, their food. What's the solution? The solution is hold these fuckers accountable. Shut every fucking nuclear reactor. If the world knew the truth, if the North America, we took Japan. People don't even know World War II history, let alone World War I. Trump said we're worried. He's worried that we're going to start World War II. That World War II. This is the same guy. He's so senile, it's unbelievable. This is the same guy that told you to rake up the force. He says he's anti-nuclear. He's worried about a nuclear war, nuclear bombs, when he dumped more pork than nuclear freaking weapons industry than anyone in history. This is the same guy that says, I just found out about that shadow banning stuff. When he's the guy that signed the bill to kill net neutrality. Then you got slide with senile old man Biden. Oh my God. That dude. Same thing as Trump. They're identical twins. Well, they're triplets, Obama. In policy, military pork, nuclear pork, nuclear pork. Nuclear energy's clean, green. I asked Trump from here to there. He's going to freaking open the book and take on FUKUSHIMA. He said, yeah, it's turn two. It is getting to be the fall classic. Billionaire baseball. The average baseball player, which baseball was king in this country, in 1975 made less than 3 times the average working class man. You know the average professional athlete, baseball player, billionaire baseball player makes many thousands of times the average working class American. You know, it's like Rashid. Rashid's making $850,000 a year when the average contemporary wide receiver in the NFL is making $13 million a year. Why do you think they don't play? I'll tell you why they don't play. Because there's certain franchises that are about winning. There's a reason certain franchises win, certain franchises never win. The franchises that win, like the Patriots, like the 49ers, you know, like the Celtics used to be in basketball, like these certain franchises versus, say, a franchise like the the Commanders and, say, the Cowboys, for instance. They never win since this guy. Because it's simple. You have these arrogant owners. They're looking at Rashid's contract. Keep playing, couldn't lighten it up because they want to re-sign him. You know, he becomes a free agent, and then I hope he doesn't stay there. You know, Carr believes in him, but you got ownerships involved because they care about money as sports merchandise. Which you got other franchises, the owners are like, okay, I believe in the coaching staff. I believe in you. Hands off. I'm going to go do what it is I do. I'm going to let my accountants handle some stuff, but hands off to the accountants. Hands off. You guys do what you want. You need to sign a player, just let me know. We sign it. You think whatever, that's what we do. Hands off. How about it? And coaches have that, or quarterbacks take control. You know, some dynamic, and coaches are smart enough to say, hey, do your thing out there. You know, linebacker, you're the defensive captain, take over. Hands off on ownership. You know, I don't care what you need something, we'll hand you whatever you need. You know? But then you have other owners like Jerry Jones that got to be involved. They're involved on contract negotiations. They're involved on sports merchandising. They're looking at every dime. Even if they're a billionaire, they want to be $2 billion. If they're fucking $20 billion, they want to be $40 billion. If they're $100 billion, they want to be $200 billion. They're fucking sickos. They're whacked. It's sick what is involved. And we somehow in this country, they think that there's a fight somehow between Democrat and Republican. It's a fight between capitalism and socialism. This is so far removed from either one of those. The PP owns both Trump and Biden did that. Do you know how much fucking money? That's fucking imperialism. Even the General Accounting Office come out. The GOA says that's the biggest loot job in American history. People that needed it didn't get it. Just dumped it out. They just ripped it off and stole it and caused hyperinflation. Psychoed this place up. Caused it high, you know, housing crisis, and then their answers to these false equivalency bullshit deals. We'll throw you a greenwashing bone. Billionaires should be illegal in this fucking country. Fucking lock the nuclear energy crime syndicate up. These arrogant, psychotic, billionaire fucking mentally ill freaks. It's called imperialism. We redistribute more wealth. Where does it go? Capitalism. This is so far away from fucking capitalism. There's nothing even close. Ask not what I can do for my country. Ask what I can loot for my country. Oh my. This is all taxpayer dime. And then friends and family get a cut. Backdoor deals on everything. I mean, it's fucking corruption to the. That's what fucking imperialism does with no checks and balances. The nuclear energy crime syndicate. No checks and balances. They just keep doing it. It's like you get caught ripping somebody off. Corporations. Still $1 billion. Pay back $50 million. That's not a deterrent. That's an incentive. In Ohio, the top politician in the entire state, the House Majority Leader, and by the way, presidents don't do policy in this country. Presidents do shit. It's Congress, but people don't even know that. I did a PhD. I was working on a PhD. Well, this is long as going PhD in history going on. I used to walk around and ask, what is your opinion of Congress? We hate them, we hate them, we hate them. And I broke it down in demographics, including this professor they just gave the award to, the biologist. I'm a butcher what's the town. So you hate them, you hate them, you hate them. Can you tell me who yours is? I broke it down into working class. I broke it down into students, graduate students, and undergraduate students. Professors and homeless. I did well over 2,000 students. You know how many people knew out of 2,000? Less than 50. You know what demographic got the highest score that knew? Homeless. You know what this guy told me? They gave him an award. Well, how would they know? They don't even have a TV. Thank you. He was one of my lot. He didn't know. He didn't know. But yet he told me he hated Congress. They'll hate him. They have no idea. You ask people what the, last time the United States Constitution was amended. Name, several of the Constitution. Name how many. They don't. We know the Second Amendment. We know the Second. The First Amendment's been shredded. The first 10 were done at what's called the Bill of Rights. We've amended the Constitution one time in well over 50 years. What? Is that unheard? Yeah, because we weren't dogmatic pluralized. I mean, it's political dogma. Give me dogma or give me death. Or give me both. Red pill, blue pill, Trump, sliding with Biden, the nuclear energy. It's the top of the heap. I was part of the people who started Occupy, invented it. We were leading up for the 100th anniversary of the 100th anniversary. Play back the tape, Your Honor, the 100th anniversary of the Shirtwaist Fire. That was March 25th, 2011. 2 weeks up before that, something happened. They threw a nuclearism flag in my face. Yalta by the sea, we divided up the fucking world. We took Japan. We run 100% on Japan. We've decided, and if you don't believe me, Nato Khan was president of the PM of Japan when it happened. He's an anti-nuker. They replaced him with a B. Think about what happened with the B. Trump met with a B 17 times, including the very first fucking person, Mar-a-Lago, high-fiving. What do you think they're talking about? Trump doesn't know. Oh, Trump knows. I've asked him. So does sliding with Biden. He was briefed. He was the vice president of the country when it happened. So what's the answer? Lock them up. Fucking charge these fucking criminals like they did in Ohio. The politicians. But think about this. In Ohio, they go after the 4 lead. Just one politician took $60 million. I was part of the group that got fucking those emails. They viciously attacked us. Think about, I proved that they hire teams of trolls. I mean, I'm so shadow banned. I can't even comment on a video now and you won't find it. Biden's going to replace net neutrality. Did he? Did he? No, he didn't. He didn't do shit. It's fucking status quo. The puppet masters have control. They're serfs. Full-blown out neo-feudalism. How does it work? We have lords. Lord Bezos, Lord Gates, Lord fucking... Lord Musk. How the fuck... COP. You know, the international fucking conference to fucking get rid of the greenwashers. And those guys show up in their yachts and sit there. They're not politicians. They're surely not fucking scientists. They're not biologists. She just scored a touchdown at the sports bar in South Ogden, which is literally feet away from where he lived. Who's that? The owner. Who's owned it for years. Who's a sports guy. Just ask him. He'll tell you what an expert is. You want to play for Weaver State? Who's that? I'm a butcher. What's a cat? I didn't see it on fucking. It's like my one friend I talked to, and he's talking about gambling and talking. I'm like, dude, you sit around and watch fucking ESPN Sports Center and you listen to the national narrative. That's what these politicians do. Fucking the right gets up in the morning, watches Fox News, and they give them a printout. This is what your agenda is today, and regurgitate the national fucking agenda. They don't even understand their demographic. I can prove that. I've interviewed so many of these, including Governor Cox. He told me he didn't even know what. And Sean Reyes, the Attorney General here, told me he didn't even know what an SMR was. Yet they're looting us new scale, just ripping us off. I mean, it's fucking over the top. How did they do it? Until we fucking have a tribunal and open up. When Fukushima happened, if the truth would have been told, the nuclear industry was over. But Price Anderson, the port, and now who owns these nuclear reactors? They're not public utilities. You think they are? No, they're not. I just told you, the lords. The lords. They own the super PACs. They own the thing. They own the country right down to your fucking bone marrow. Cancer rates fucking go explode in 2012. Longevity headed south. We have bypass surgery. We have fucking organ transplants. We have all this modern technology. Yet we're living less starting in 2012. Tide pools fucking collapse in 2011, 2012. Just wasting disease. What's wasting? In an acute fashion. Smoking gun salmon. Salmon go to sea. Still have to go to sea 1 to 2 years. They'll collapse immediately. Not like this. It's not gradual. I said the smoking gun with this Chinook, the mighty Chinook. Why? Because they go to sea on average in 5 years. They won't collapse until 2016. If they collapse in 2016, will you believe me? We had record returns in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Army Corps of Engineers is part of the Department of Atomic. The Department of Atomic was started by the original spokesman was Jeff Bezos' grandfather. Look it up. You know, Jeff Bezos' mother gave birth to him at Los Alamos when she was 14. Grandpa, her dad, is Geis himself, the original spokesman. The Army Corps of Engineers was part of the original Department of Atomic. So is the Department of Energy. Rick Perry and Jennifer Graham Home are going to make a sick. Miss America's out there. Miss America. Oh, boy. You're still buying into that stuff, you know? I wonder if they still have the swimsuit contest. Oh, my God. In this day and age, in this fucking era. She says nuclearism saved her fucking father. Oh, my fucking God. Where do they find these freaks? It's like this. I was talking about this yesterday. This country is unconscious. They're hypnotized. You can only be hypnotized if you want to be hypnotized. So everybody's write books, write books, write books. Look, I've always known literature. Literature only changes around the edges. It never changes at the core. It doesn't. You think it does. It doesn't. So you're the little lady who started the Civil War. Harriet Beecher Stowe on balcony. There's been a few little gems that have probably got pretty close culturally. But in reality, it's the vision. You have to see it. You can't smell it, you can't taste it, you can't see it, you can't hear it. The nuclear energy emperors, they have no clothes. Print media is so dead, it's been dead. You read a story, it comes up on your Google feed, or you're even reading it in a newspaper, seeing it, no one believes it. Everybody's like, you know, the written word, the radio genre, the television genre is because here you got a guy sitting behind hairspray on a fucking news desk regurgitating some narrative that someone else has written for him in a very painted. The whole world's like fucking. Now you go to the fucking bar you used to and hang out with a friend, have a conversation, but you can't even do that now. These people are fucking gone. The visual genre. I knew that from day one. I used to teach music at the number. I was a student professor at the number one school. I was being posh and groomed to take over the program, and Clyde Cooley drops dead. What'd you put in his tea? I tell you. Oh, nice birdie, nice birdie. The country's degenerate, especially the state. It's horribly degenerate. It's sickening. Don't you see that? The visual genre, Michelangelo. This genre is so incredibly powerful, but no one uses it right. You know, they do vlogs and vlogs and they're fucking analysis, and they think they're changing. They ain't doing shit. I sit around and talk about fucking earthquakes, and we people sit there and watch it. You think that's doing anything? It's not changing nothing. This genre, I work so hard on my sets, where, how, when, visually, it penetrates the psychic. And we know factually that the visual genre, in an artistic way, in an outdoors visual way, is many thousands of times more cognitive, retainable than the written word, or the read word, or even the television fucking posture. We know that. That's how this subliminal fucking messaging works so fucking hardcore in sport. I mean, the NFL had it down because it's a helmet. You don't know their faces because they have a helmet on. And they used Madison Avenue in the 60s to fucking create those logos. And the artists were the best in the world. Well, the best in the history. The color scheming, fucking talk about brilliant. It brands people because it's the brilliant color scheme. The color scheming is like the fucking most masterful in the history of mankind. Color scheming matters because again, the visual genre in an arena, you're looking down, you see that stark color. It works. I knew that. I've had many millions and millions and millions of games, and they tried to put me back in the toothpaste, shadow the bottom. I'm changing. We are changing. We're winning. You don't get that. Now, when somebody breaks forward inside, somebody inside that says, hey, we have all the data on the cover up, just like you said. They classified Kevin Glantz. They hired teams of trolls to attack you when you're in critical condition. It went into full blown out cover mode. Somebody inside, the doctor looks at somebody inside who's part of that apparatus. You got 2 months to live. You're full of leukemia. Don't you think at the end of their life they would come forward? Don't you think these people are going to take it to their grave? Well, that's what people historically did. Look at, the Warren Commission. Look at all that stuff. You don't think they can cover up stuff? Oh, they can cover up stuff. They cover up stuff. Go back to the Spanish flu. Go ask anybody. I mean, it was a protege of Dr. Winterton here. He used to spend an entire semester, one of the greatest real biologists in the world, used to spend an entire semester on the Spanish flu. Go ask people where the Spanish flu comes from. They have no clue. Spain? He used to hammer away the biological test. But anyway, they can cover up shit for fucking ever. Even in this day and age with the vloggers and the vlog, well, it's real simple because they have a hypnotized populace that is so selfish, the great selfishness. Like, they don't give a fuck about their neighbor. They don't give a fuck about it. This country somehow needs to come back and start caring about other people. They don't give a fuck. It's me, and their money. So everybody has an AdSense account, right? So easy. It was real easy to nuance these guys. You talk about Fukushima, your AdSense, your YouTube site goes, woo. You say it's a hoax? Woo. Well, of course they're going to go there because this can be proven. This country will do anything. Anything. Lock, stock, barrel. They will do anything. And they play it. I mean, they play them like a freaking plastic fucking thing. Like I said, why don't you do those great, intense, radical, freaking visual genre? They're out there. They're out there. So, until we hold these people accountable, and by the way, we shut down so many nuclear reactors. How many they open since Fukushima here? One? If that's really even. Nine global. Shut down San Onofre, 2 reactors there. Duane Arnold, Andrew Point, Palisades, Oyster Creek, almost. So, I mean, we shut down so many reactors here. Germany, Angela Merkel, a nuclear physicist. Germany shut them all down. Hoppy himself, we love, and people bad mouthing that movie. That's the greatest anti-nuclear movie in history. You know how bad that makes the nuclear industry look? I heard somebody talking about what a propaganda piece was. No. Go watch it. It throws the nuclear industry under the bus. It look like the scumbags that they are. Oh, Oppie died very young of cancer. Very young. I mean, talk about sick and evil tremendously. So did Vermeer. Wasn't Basil look just like Vermeer? Very young of cancer. People don't even consider their longevity. Don't even consider their fucking Einstein. Well, I feel like I've been here before. I feel, well, you probably were at the funeral. Why? Don't be upset. He's not dead. He's just in another dimension. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. So, Oppie, 1940 Manhattan Project, or even 39. If the Germans want this weapon, they will have it first. They're the greatest nuclear physicists in the world. He full well knew the Germans. In 1943, the communique, early 43, they were behind enemy lines. U.S. intelligence. Baby never born, mother never pregnant. They knew it happened. Leo, who wrote the letter, not Einstein, who forced him in to tell her, drove him there in his car. Backed out immediately. Everyone backed. We're done. We're not dropping it. They don't have it. We're not doing it. Oppie dropped 2 anyway. It really came down to 2 people, Oppenheimer and Truman. Even Strauss had it right. As much as you demonize Strauss, even he had it. I mean, he's like, fighting's over. That bloodbath, that nasty. But we didn't go after the imperialists, did we? Well, that's more proof. Look what led to Japan. Look at World War II. Imperialism. The fight of World War I and II was a fight against imperialists. Then we become the very thing that we freaking fight against. It's like YouTube. Us pioneers of YouTube are being eaten by the very monster that we created. That's what's gone here in the United States. The military industrialized war pigs. We were the 29th biggest military in the world in 1939. 40. Post-war, look what we created. Our wings, I mean, we're war pigs. We're big, fat, drunken, freaking, I mean, the military is, it's bloated, freaking disgusting. That's where all, it's like in Europe, everybody like, they don't have a war pig to feed. You know, I used to stand in front of the White House and say all the time, where are you from? Oh, Norway. Well, I heard you have a soft wealth fund. I think you have money. These guys are running out of places to invade. Went off to Afghanistan to kill the Taliban. Went off to Iraq to get big old sack. Went off to Vietnam to kill the Viet Cong. How nice is boogeyman than Van Lice is? They get rain in Ukraine. It's disgusting. It's unbelievable. Why? Meanwhile, we destroy the American. What's depleted uranium? Where did that come from? These people lose their own loved ones. They don't care. They're so narcissistic, so freaking self-indulged, so propped up by the puppet masters, and so indoctrinated, sit around and watch NBC to the left, sit around and watch Foxconn News to the right, and this becomes a narrative? Who's the sheep? The owner of the sports bar in South Ogden, Utah, the greatest football. Award to the biologist. I'm a butcher, what's a cow? I'm a baker, what's a pig? I'm a duck, what's a fucking pond? I asked him one day, this is about, I know him. About year 4 or 5. What about Fukushima? I'm not shitting. Hold accountability. Put them in fucking jail. We have to have resolve. This is the greatest crime in human history. So they arrested poor lead, let's say the House Speaker of Ohio is doing 20 years in a federal prison. FBI put him there. Well, didn't some people bribe him? It takes 2 to tango, Bobby. Did you know no charges against the people that bribe? And degenerate Ohio is so degenerate, even after they catch them bribing, most corrupt thing in the history of the state, they bail them out anyway. What? What? Yeah. No charges. The nuclear energy crime scene, until we hold them accountable and hold. Somebody inside's got to break ranks, and the real truth has to come out. And this country would flip. Somehow this tank water narrative, you believe that? I'll present the data again, which I do over and over. Okay, if that's true, they caught all the water and they're dumping. They started dumping August 24th. that tell me how 18,000 becquerels of cesium-137 got into the fish in May in the Pacific Ocean right there. 180 times long before they started dumping. How about in January of 2022? Tell me how that got in there. I'll present the data again. Tell me how the KLK study that Buesler's name's on wood holes, and he's a biologist. These people, I leaked it out. It's out there. June 2011, 40 kilometers off the coast of Fukushima into the Japanese current. 300 meters down into the water column. 1,000 times the becquerels, 1,000 times the background level of cesium-137. That's freaking hundreds of thousands of becquerels of cesium-137. Cesium-137 only comes from a nuclear fission event. They don't split the atom, by the way. They collide the atom. Next time somebody's pro-nuclear, ask them about the waste, and then ask them about the centrifuge process. Could you tell me how we get uranium-238 turned into 235? Because we don't use natural uranium from the earth, 238, in a nuclear reactor. That's not what we use. And then when next time they got to quit dumping, they've been dumping the whole fucking time. You know, it rains. Massive typhoons. That water, how the fuck did this in 2011, in June of 2011? Their conclusion, these are so-called scientists from all over the country that got leaked out. Our conclusion, that the radioisotopes derivatives from the Fukushima disaster are already into the water column. There's no second. Because I do the science. I am the science. The regurgitation, I asked what's his name, they gave the award right. Can you show me your field work? A real traditional PhD, first year apostolic, right here. They're lying. They're pushing this because it's going to cause the Great Pacific Genocide. You cannot be afraid to hypothesize. Then you have to, it's going to give you cancer. I got cancer. Then you have to do field work. Look at my work. Look at my work. 12 years of field work. High tide pool work alone. Raw, organic footage, uncut, unchopped. That's the way it has to be. You can't chop it up because people know how that works. You have to be open and organic and just let it go. Put the rough data out there. Then if you're right, you have to defend your work against this tsunami. So these regurgitating college themselves, they're not scientists. Coincidence, tide pools collapse, the salmon collapse, the heat bubble over the Western United, the fructonium fires, all of it in an acute radical fashion. It's unarguable science now, absolutely unarguable, that we know there was probably the greatest outlier in one of them in human history, at least in modern human history, at least since the Spanish flu. There's a radical, crazy outlier. It's unarguable proof. The salmon data, we have it all. You can run regression. Unarguable proof, we know there was a radical outlier in the North American ecology and the Pacific Ocean in 2011. We have the salmon data, we have the whale data, we have the starfish data, we have the fire data, all of it. We have the heat bubble over the Western United States, named by Kevin Lentz, the greatest fucking PhD, probably the greatest scientist since Semmelweis. Germ theory. So, put me in a rubber room, beat me to death. Oh, they tried. Rip me open, pour me out. There's things inside the skin. I've had open heart surgery twice. I was given 2 months to live on 11. Just the fact that I go into the bone marrow transplant on 11/11, I didn't pick that date. Almost dead. Just the fact that the meltdown happened, or the steam malfunction at San Onofre the day I went in a coma on January 30th, 2012 at San Onofre, and I report that from the window. Well, I know what Albert would say. Your place in time, Blanche. Your place in... Einstein, metal broad, fact of physics, Blanche. Plutonium, the father of the greatest biologist in... I did the field work. Coincidence doesn't get it in science. We know unarguable factually, and that's what I'm going to tag this. There was a radical outliner. Unarguable. Their propaganda machine, Price Anderson with your own money, is the congressional act. They don't have to pay it back, and we split trillions and billions. They opened up the spigot on the Manhattan Project to the nuclear energy crime scum. They never shut it off. And just money flows, and they think that money is their, you know, it's not a coincidence that Bill Gates says he's going to put SMR, small nuclear reactor, in Cameron, Wyoming. Why? Who's pulling these puppets' freaking strings? The puppet masters, the lords, Lord Bezos, Lord Musk, Lord, you know, all the lords, you know. Goes back to Cecil Rhodes. Rhodesia, I got a Rhodes Scholar. Oh my God, read about that dude. Whoa. You Google imperials, you get a picture of him. This is not a fight between capitalism and socialism. This is full blown out neo-feudalism. This is imperialism. And they got everything they want. They're just holding the status quo now. Crumbling infrastructure, really out of control debt, hyper-psychotic inflation, vast, just think about the people in this country that are on some kind of psych drug, and that's the people that are on a prescription one. How about the people that are self-medicating? Everyone's self-medicating. You know, we have so many issues and problems in this country. Homeless crisis from hell. Mental health, I mean, just an acute radical crisis. Our health freaking structure. I was just talking to my doctor over there. There's no surgeons. No, well, who can go to school for 10 years and spend $2 million? So they have to import surgeons because foreign governments in their structure actually pay for those. They pay for their schooling. They pay them for it because they know that they're such an intricate part and such an important part of not us. So who can go to school for 10 fucking years and spend $2 million? They can't. So we have no surgeons, young ones. Health crisis from hell. Look, they took down Radnet. They crashed Radnet. What's that? On March 11th. The radiation detector, or that we built. They tore it down. And you just go for this. Well, when they have control of the media. How did they do it? One by Jetstream, two by cable TV. Kevin Lynch, the greatest PhD in human history. I own a sports bar in South Ogden, Utah. Right within feet of where Rashid Shaheed played. Touchdown, Rashid. Just run the pump back. Who's that? I don't know who that. He used to sit in your place right there. I'm a butcher. I looked right I says, I'm a butcher. What's a cow? I'm a biologist getting an award at Weber State. I'm a zoologist. What's Fukushima? Stay tuned.